welcome to Maximum Driftcast, and we're Drift Podcast, and we take your Chevy truck and we go slide it through the mud.
And with you guys have your host, Corey, the four-legged horse, Hosford.
Hey, thank you. Over to my right-hand side, we got the best man from the West. We got the wild man. We call him Paco, the two-barrel Ibarra.
Ay. Welcome. Well, shit. Wait. No. That's the wrong intro, buddy.
I didn't. That's what Sam gave us.
I don't know. Okay, 1 second. Let me just play the right one. You guys ready?
Okay, play.
You are now entering Maximum Driftcast, the only drifting podcast hosted by a Spanish soccer mom, a 30-year-old silver-haired fox going on 60, and finally, a 200-pound bowl of spaghetti with chimichanga arms.
The champions, we are the champions.
Well, I can't believe we had that intro like that, Paco.
Man, it was great.
I don't know why I had that loaded. Oh, do you know what that was? That was the ones that didn't make the intro.
That was one of the outtakes.
That was the outtakes. I don't know how that got on my computer, but
Jared sounds different in that intro though.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the guys like it. You know, maybe with new Patreon donations, we can maybe change the intro.
We can afford making a decent intro.
Yeah, Jared charged us like $65,000 to do that last intro. So, yeah, maybe that could be a Patreon competition. Is to do a new audio sample.
Just send us your best intro, and where am I having hosted on the show?
or we just make a new one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, welcome to Maximum Driftcast, the only drifting podcast where we take your Chevy and slide it through a bunch of mud.
Perfect. Your Chevy truck.
Or Chevy truck. Yep. I'll slide a Chevy Cavalier through the mud if I have to, or a Cobalt.
If it was like a life or death circumstance, I'll totally slide a Cavalier.
I would either slide. This is if I had to choose my Chevys. Okay. So
it's a new segment by Corey. Choose your Chevys.
I would take my Chevy truck to pull my Chevy Malibu to the circle track. And then for my mudslinger car, I would take a Cavalier, and then for my drag car, I would take a Chevy Cruze.
Dude, those cruises, man.
I'm telling you, it's a cruiser.
Yeah, that cruise is a cruiser.
It's a Tom Cruiser.
Yeah.
What would be your Chevy of choice?
I actually have a few. I had a few Chevys of choice. Actually, I had a K5 Blazer. It's one of my favorite Chevys.
That doesn't count. That's too good of a Chevy.
Okay, so let's say, a Beretta.
Chevy Beretta?
Beretta.
What would you do with it? What would that be created for?
Z32? You know, the sport one?
So, but what competition of racing would you put that in?
That would be probably for reverse drag racing.
Okay, cool. What other ones you got?
For my figure 8 destruction derby,
okay,
I'll go with I would say a Chevy Biscayne. Is that a thing?
I don't remember that.
I think it's like one of those big old 4-door.
I picture you more as like a Chevy Aveo type of guy.
Oh well, the Aveo that was for like the tuning competition.
That's the
the hard parking tuner. You know, big wheels, sound system.
Well, that's the thing is you could put an AM intake on it and get like 65 horsepower. So
yep, especially that would put AM intakes on the sound system.
Yep, and you could put on the exhaust so it filters good air.
Exhaust. Yeah, it's a green car.
Good air into the. So it's almost like an eco-friendly Chevrolets.
It's on the Chevy EcoBoost.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, we're back. Obviously, this time around, we're missing our companion there, Sam the Hammer Nalven.
I heard he went to a hentai convention.
Yeah, because I guess you tagged him in. He tagged you out. You tagged him in.
So next week you're going to
if somebody tags me in to the hentai convention.
Yeah, because apparently I heard that I went to a hentai convention last week, but it wasn't that.
What was it?
Comic-Con.
Oh, you son of a gun.
But for some reason, there was people selling like octopus-shaped
goggles.
Yeah, and like paperweights.
Yeah.
With tentacles.
Yeah, and they get suction cup on the mirrors and stuff.
Yeah, because like or in your car, like kind of like what like they look like proximity sensors.
Right. Oh
like
yeah.
Danny George proximity sensors with the shape of tentacles.
Yeah, they used those in drifting for some time. They wanted your front bumper to peck the tip of the
I think they
tentacle.
call it docking.
Yeah, they want you to dock the tentacle on your inner zones and then fill them on the outer. So
that's correct.
I'm glad they got rid of that and went with the drift box, and now it's back to Ryan Lontaine, who still kisses tentacles every now and then. But anyways,
sorry Ryan.
Yeah, sorry Ryan. We like you still. I know you're in Japan, but
Dude.
Yeah, we just had a big event. I missed watching it live, so I had to catch up on it over the weekend.
It was off the hook.
You watched the whole thing. I remember watching your posts on Facebook and Instagram. I'm sitting there pulling whatever I have left of my hair out. Yeah, and you're like, this is the craziest thing. And then you're saying these mistakes are happening. And then you're like, oh, my God, Odie did the best chase run. And then I'm sitting here just like setting at hot important nights. And I'm like, man, I'm sure missing the show.
Crazy thing about this round, I think it's like a very unseen thing. Forsberg lost in top 32.
What happened?
He lost against
Osbo.
Yeah, because like he qualified like 17 or something like that.
And he messed up on his second run. I did see that.
Yeah, and I mean it looks like he's still having some problem with a suspension setup on the car. But he qualified low, and Osbo qualified low as well, so they kind of like meet in between.
Okay.
And he lost against Osbo.
But Forsberg straightened up, right? At the last inner clip.
I can't remember. I just remember that he lost.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how.
For me, not watching it, it sounds like I know a lot, but I just watched the highlights. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you watch the I saw the whole thing, but okay. So he's straight up.
Right.
And then on top 32, in top 16, Vaughn lost. He spun. Chelsea spun.
Yep.
And JTP spun. What's funny? Okay, so here's my theory. They all spun pretty much at the time where they're going in front of the crowd, in front of the grandstands. All the
was it coming off the bank?
Coming off the bank on the first position, and there's all the crowd on all the Mustangs were looking at the crowds, and there's like the Mustang itself wanted to go at the crowd, and they all spun at the same place pretty much. So all these three guys, actually. Yes, they all lost in top 16. Like
wow,
like big guys. Alec Honodell lost in top 32 as well. I think he had some part broke. I think something on the steering or something like that broke, so he didn't make it. So it was different, you know, like not seeing a lot of the big guys make it on top 16, and then
Jeff Jones made top 8.
Okay, yeah, that was the thing. Best.
Can we let's jump to the big guns here.
Best moment.
Hey, I'm gonna cue it up. So this is Jeff Jones' first time in history making a top 8.
Top 8.
Dude, so Jeff's been running FDF for I don't know how long, probably from
5 years?
More longer than that.
Okay.
He had to be doing it for God dang, I can't even tell. It's more than 5 for sure. He's been a veteran of the sport, but this is his first time cracking a top 8. And honestly, I couldn't think of a better thing to say myself with my first interview.
Good for him.
And top 8. So let me play you guys Jeff's interview real quick.
With Lorette.
With Paco's girlfriend, Lorette.
Oh, yeah.
Nickel.
Congratulations, moving on.
Thank you so much. Let's take this Edelbrock Supercharger to the trophy, huh? Get it in first place, huh? We ready for that? I'm excited, man. I'm pumped. I can't even think. Let's go.
Hold on. Let's listen to that one more time. Let's really break it down.
Thank you so much. Let's take this Edelbrock Supercharger to the trophy, huh? Get it in first place, huh? We ready for that? I'm excited, man. I'm pumped. I can't even think. Let's go.
He says he wants to take his Edelbrock Supercharger to the trophy.
Supercharger to the trophy.
And he's like, well, we're going to the trophy.
I guess like at that moment he realized like, oh, shit, that didn't make any sense. But let's fix it up. So what do you guys think?
He caught me off guard, and do you know what? That is what I remember from.
It was hilarious, but it was awesome. It was one of those things that I was laughing, but I knew what was going on Jeff's head.
Dude, think about this dude after running FD for so many years, and it's like, holy shit, we're going into top 8. I don't know what to say.
And he's running good. I mean, he the car looks great. That's one of the things. His car usually looks kind of like simple. This year, he's got a very nice livery.
Yep.
Car's running awesome. Tons of power. He's looking good, man. I'm happy for him. Like that's what I'm saying. Like when I was watching, I was laughing as well, but I knew what was going on in his head.
Yeah, it's pure excitement.
We like Jeff.
We like Jeff.
Yeah, I wanted to crack a Doc X.
He did send us some Doc X to drink.
And I wanted to crack it in the show, but I can't find him.
I tried. I actually drank half of one. I almost like squirrel suited off Sam's patio into the street because I was so fired up. But
yeah, Sam misplaced those extra Docs that we had. So sorry, but
Jeff.
This was for you, Jeff.
And then the other thing too was people bowing out because of their 5-minute time.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so you have Nate Hamilton. Obviously, he crashed pretty hard.
Yeah.
He said he couldn't do it. Then Peter, he had transmission issues, and from what I heard, it was like the input shaft broke on his transmission.
Yeah, the input shaft just snapped.
Right. And then Matt Kaufman
Fuel
running
injector.
over until 5 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah. So that was the thing. So
Yeah, he didn't make it within his time, but literally there was a 10 to 15 second window after where the car was on the ground and running, and there was a big argument coming off of that saying, come on, it's only 15 seconds. This
Yeah.
car was ready for battle.
Well, like a lot of people were saying that it was less than that because it was just a matter of like turning on the kill switch. And because the moment where they tried to go and fire it up, it was still under the 5 minutes. But then the 5 minutes went over. They turned on the kill switch. They realized, like, because Kaufman, I can see him pointing, like, kill switch, kill switch.
Yeah.
So they finally go pull the kill switch, and the car fired up right away. But that was on, like, after the 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was like 10 to 20 second
Yeah.
window where it was after that 5 minute, and they didn't let him run because the car wasn't running in that 5 minute window.
Now, the thing is, the camera, at this point, the camera is pointing at Kevin Wells, and next to Kevin Wells, I think that was, I'm not sure, but I think that was Kaufman's dad.
I don't know,
or,
Harry
or
Berry.
his manager or something, but he was one of Kaufman's team. And I think that's something that I think Formula Drift needs to address because Lorette is there kind of like waiting for a word, and they're putting Kevin on a spot.
Right.
Because they're showing, like they're like, hey, yeah, come on, yeah, you're gonna let us go, and then like Kevin is talking on the radio, talking back
Right.
and forth, and then he suddenly
the timer was done.
yeah, so okay. Anyways, the camera is looking at them, and they're kind of like putting Kevin on the spot because they're showing the Kaufman's pit crew like right there working, with like trying to work things out with Kevin. Kevin's talking on the radio and trying to get a confirmation if he's gonna let him go or not. Then they tell him, apparently they tell him don't let him go, and then he just like turns away from the camera and leaves, and it was like a very awkward moment
For who?
for everybody. I mean, Lorette is kind of like, Lorette has a microphone on his face. I think his crew chief is just like looking like kind of like trying like to hug him and like, hey,
Right.
like we're good. So I mean, it was a little bit like awkward to see that.
That's
I
a
think
sport.
It is, but
unfortunately.
it was weird. Like I think they need to be more, how to say, like have a little bit more, take a little more care of those kind of situations. But obviously, what matters is that they didn't let him run.
Yep.
I personally think they should have let him go, but you can't just 1 second is already over the 5 minutes.
Right.
So it's very if you do that for one driver, then you have to do it for every driver.
Yep.
And
That's the problem.
It's-
Or if they go, hey, extend the rule to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And guess what? People are still going to go 15 seconds over
Well,
6 minutes.
we-
They're going to say bump it to 7, and they're still going to go 5 seconds over.
we talked to Kojima about this, and even Mike
Right.
Kojima said, no. If you have something that needs more than 5 minutes to fix, it's something that probably you're not supposed to be fixing.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So
You shouldn't be fixing it in
Yeah.
5 minutes anyways. Or you're going to do what Kristoff did and just land on the
Just
jack
fuck
stands
it.
and try it.
Just
and
go.
even Kristoff said, I believe he said it. I can't remember if Sam told us it, but it's like, yeah, it's probably better off that I didn't run it because it was the wrong wheels, nothing lined up, nothing worked, but he was still wanting to go run to compete. And at that point, it's like, save the car.
yeah, he said it's probably not good idea to go.
Yeah, that was Kristoff right there. He just called in.
That's
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Not good idea to go. It is best.
So the other so the other thing too is like obviously people are heated because it is a 10, 15 second over the 5 minutes. But the other thing too is, why didn't they start the car with the hood up? Right? How come they didn't have the car up? If the car was running within the 5 minutes and all they do was close the
Even
hood,
with the hood up, yeah.
then they know mechanically the car is fine and they can drive.
Yeah.
But if you slam the hood, start it up, and you can't see that
Yeah.
everything mechanically is sound, then there's an obvious issue. And
I think the problem is that they were victims of the time pressure. So when you have time pressure, you just don't close it. Instead of thinking like no, fire it up with the hood open.
Right.
While the hood is open, they could have fired up. Oh, kill switch, boom,
Yep.
fire it up. It goes.
And even if they had 5 seconds left,
Even
Kevin
if-
could see cars running, it's operating,
looks
close
at
the
it.
hood
All
back.
right, exactly. Yeah, having the hood open or closed, I don't think has nothing to do with like a mechanical
Right.
issue. Now, here's the thing, very important. It was an electric component that operates fuel, so the kill switch has to be off. It's like one of those things. So I can understand why the kill switch being on needs to be part of the rule. You know, like because
Right.
a lot of the arguments was, oh, it's just a kill switch. Like, yeah, but how can you check if this mechanical fix was fixed?
If you're not signaling
exactly,
it.
if you, until you turn the kill switch on, then you can see if there's fuel squirting all over again, you know, and see if the car is running. So
fun fact,
tough call, but
I
understand.
I messaged Kevin on what was that app you used to find people in your area, locals?
Grinder?
Yep, I messaged Kevin on Grinder,
Mm-hmm.
and I asked him what was his thoughts on that moment.
Yeah.
And we tried to get him called in first of all, but he's actually flying to Japan getting ready for FD Japan this weekend. So he gave us a few words on that moment, and he was saying that there was obviously a major fuel leak. He doesn't know if it was an injector or something going to the fuel rail, but it was pissing fuel everywhere.
Yeah.
And they had a 5-minute window to fix that. And then what they did is when they went to close the hood, Matt went to try to fire it. Kind of everything we talked about. Car didn't fire. Signaled Matt to turn on. Car did not start. It was 10, 15 seconds over that window. And Kevin just kind of talked about what we just talked about. He's like, at that point, like, it could have been piston fuel everywhere. You couldn't see it. You couldn't visually inspect it. It's not safe for that car to go out. Even if he did finish it in 4 minutes and 55 seconds and he drove it up to the staging and that thing was still pissing fuel, he still wouldn't have been able to run anyways because we would have caught that. So Kevin was saying it's better to take the safety precaution and not blow up a car on the grid because they didn't go through the safety measures rather than just saying, do you know what? You didn't inspect it. You tried to plug it. You tried to get it going. It's not right. It's not safe. And you're already 15 seconds over. So let's just call it a wash. It's done. Good job.
We don't want Matt Kaufman to get burned.
Right. We don't want this to get any worse than it already is.
Yeah. And I mean, dude, a fuel leak, it leaks right into the headers. That'll fire up. It's like guaranteed that it'll fire up. So
the thing is, with the pressure of competition and Matt getting to top 4, this could have been a podium. So I could see the frustration. I can absolutely see the frustration. But at the end of the day, that car could have burned to the ground, and then Matt would have to figure a new plan out leading into the next round.
One of Sam's arguments when I was talking to him, because obviously he's not here, you guys can see or hear, he's not here, but he was saying that the rules are the rules, but people want the show, you know, and they kind of wanted the show. They wanted to see that battle. So here's the thing, Odie. I mean, spoiler alert, but Odie won.
Right.
And right on the very last stretch of the track, his engine blew up and pissed coolant everywhere. Like, that's it. Like, that fresh engine couldn't do more than that.
Yeah.
If he would have run against that run with Kaufman, he probably would have blown the engine on his final race, if you think about it.
Right.
Well, so that's crazy.
Well, here's another thing Kevin told me because I brought that analogy up to him. Kevin said they believe Matt Kaufman did 12 practice runs in open practice, and if he would only did 8 or 10, he would have advanced on 2 because that issue would have started 2 runs later. So he's saying it's a big juggling act on how much you actually have to drive your car versus when these things actually happen.
Goes back to they not doing any burnouts or stuff like that on the top 16 intro anymore. You know?
I know, man. That's so sad, and that's part of the reason.
It sucks, but if you think about it from the
it's getting to a
technical
competition.
aspect,
It is a full-blown, like everybody, it's a full-blown competition.
Yeah.
I know it's a spectator sport. It's super fun to watch, but now it's die hard where
what's
everybody's
crazy though is that next day after that competition, everybody goes and puts their pro car in the pro bro down.
Yeah. Well, they have a month to fix it. You know, they have a month to fix whatever they break.
Which I don't know if you saw. I'll talk a little bit about that, but there was like a big crash.
The Supra jumping.
We'll talk about that in a little bit, but let's go back to Formula Drift. So, anyway,
Sam got some cool footage of Odie's wheel falling off.
Okay, so let's talk about Odie real quick. He had the most amazing comeback in history. I wish we could talk to him right now, but dude, it was so insane because on practice he blew up his motor, and they worked all night until like 3 or 4 a.m. something like that to get it running, to get it fixed. They ended up swapping the engine with his old engine that they just happened to have in the trailer. And then on his race on top 32, on that was on practice next day when they blew the engine, the tire blew up.
That was in practice.
That was in practice, yeah. So practicing with Vaughn, his studs and his spacer broke. They snapped. And then when the car fell into the ground, the spacer itself snapped as well. Because, when you have a
Right.
spacer, I think, I don't know. He probably has, like, a bolt-on spacer. And then,
Maybe.
anyways,
I don't know.
you can see the spacer flying behind the car anyways. It's a beautiful 4K slow motion
So,
video.
anyways, we got a text from Sam of that, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And now you could probably see that, I think, on Vaughn's Instagram videos. And I think Sam may have posted it too.
Yeah, they're all over the internet right now. Even Formula Drift posted.
that dude probably has never worked as hard any round in his career leading up to this.
Oh, yeah.
Or prior. He
Because
probably has not.
after that, he went on top 16. He went against Turk on top 16, right? Yes. And
Yes.
then he won against Turk, but then Turk had a very valid, by the way,
That's what I missed.
I forgot what do you call it?
He wanted to dispute the runs.
A dispute, yeah. So they went to dispute it. They analyzed the run and they agreed with Turk's dispute. So they went one more time instead of giving Odie the win.
What happened?
So Odie on the first run. Oh, let me guess.
I don't know who it is. Let's see.
Let me guess.
Hello.
Bueno.
What's up, Corey?
Oh, hey man. Hey Odie, how you doing, dude?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Man, you sound sleepy.
Yeah. Funny thing, we were just talking about you.
Yeah, I'm a little tired, but I'm happy to be home finally.
Are you tired? What are you doing this weekend?
Yeah, you had too many margaritas on the houseboat.
Yeah, just hung out, just relaxed all weekend,
Yeah, I heard you went to some of your old college fraternity parties and you were doing beer bongs and like bunch of the hard stuff, and you just partied out too hard this weekend.
Yeah, right.
Well, you did party hard, just in a different way, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a great time.
Nice.
But it was exhausting at the same time, man.
Can you please say your first, middle, and last name for us to let everybody know who we're chatting with right now, please? Thank you.
Sure. I don't have a middle name, by the way, but it's
Fun fact.
Odi Bakchis.
That's it? Otimus Bakchis.
That's it?
That's 3 syllables.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Paco, what's your full name?
Luis.
Yeah, it's still...
Oh, wait.
Hold on, Paco. Say. Let's get Paco's full name. What is it?
Luis Francisco Ibarra Vallejo.
Wow.
thing.
You just beat
Nice.
Odie.
Paco for short.
I thought Odie's name was going to be long, but it's not.
Yeah, Odie's just like
No.
short
Yeah,
for
Otimus
Artemis,
Bakchis. I don't have a
right?
middle
Odie.
name. I
Yeah.
just ditched it.
Yeah.
It's super short, and I have no idea why people just can't pronounce it. It's easy, right?
Yeah, I actually wrote it down on my palm, so when you called in, I can look at my hand real quick.
Your name is very easy to mispronounce. Your last name is very easy to mispronounce.
Yeah, oftentimes, yeah. But
We've done it many times in the
spelling's
show.
really-
Yeah.
What's up?
Well, we've misspelled your name plenty times on the show, and we don't.
That's okay.
We don't regret it.
Yeah, it was an accident, though.
So we were just talking about you, man. So
Yeah, it's
coincidentally,
crazy. I don't know how you came up, but we just
Yeah.
started chatting.
But
Cool.
we were just telling the internet how you came back after a whole day and night of practicing and doing engine swaps and snapping wheels and spacers all the way up to the podium.
Yeah, that was a crazy weekend, and I was just kind of riding a wave of adrenaline, honestly, and things were turning for the bad at the beginning of that weekend, and we worked so freaking hard that something just clicked while I started driving, and things were still going bad while I was driving, honestly. The car was degrading really bad, but it was just I felt like I had to do well for how much work we've been putting in, if that makes sense. Like, all my guys were putting in so much work, so was I. And it's like, well, I got to make this worthwhile. And
Yeah. At any point, Odie, did you think, man, my guys are tired. I should just plug this thing into the fence real quick and just let everybody go home, take a nap?
Honestly, like, there was plenty of times through that weekend where I was, like, the engine swap wasn't easy, right? Because we weren't just putting another motor that was identical to that motor in my car. What the motor I actually ended up putting in my car is a spare motor from the Genesis. So it needed a different intake manifold, different fuel rails. It was completely bare, meaning it was just a long block. It didn't have anything on it. And a lot of stuff just didn't transfer over. So there was moments at like from midnight till 3:30 in the morning where I was like, this is not working, that's not working. Maybe this is a sign where we just let this one go.
Right.
But we just kept on.
Can you give us a play-by-play kind of leading up through your week from practice all the way up to the event? How did your practice day start off?
So practice was okay. We're kind of checking off the boxes, like let's nail down the good follow or the good lead run. Cool. Now we got a good qualifying setup. Cool. Let's start chasing people. Oh, sweet, car's fast enough. We can make it even faster. Like just checking off all the boxes, everything good. And Friday, right before qualifying, or pretty soon before qualifying, we went out to chase Vaughn. Vaughn's car is usually pretty fast, so I clutch kicked pretty violently behind him on the bank. Vaughn getting junior. And when that happened, my car jolted really hard. It was gripped up, and I felt like the nastiest buck from my car that I've ever felt. It like flung the car up in the air, and then it came down on the ground. Obviously not on wheels. It came down on like chassis frame, something hard, and it like actually like jolted my back. The wheel fell off. It sheared all the lug nuts off, and it just came off. From that moment forward, it was a cluster. There was a bunch of damage because the wheel fallen off. When we got the wheel back on and started the car back up, we realized there was exhaust leaks all the way from the back of the car through the headers because it jolted the chassis so hard it cracked the exhaust in multiple spots.
Jesus.
We pulled out the welder, started welding up all the cracks that we could find while trying to scramble and get myself back on the line so I could run practice to make sure that car is okay before qualifying. I ran like one lap of practice and I realized it's not okay. Like we welded up all the exhaust leaks, but it feels like it's down a cylinder or two. So I have no clue how simultaneously this happened, but the motor was just ill. It was not working. And
this is on
we
Thursday,
had no time.
right?
No, this is Friday.
This is
This
on
is
Thursday.
Friday. This
Oh,
is
Right before
this is
qualifying,
like
you
half
said.
an hour. This is like half an hour before qualifying.
oh.
Like I just realized my motor's not working, and I line up to do one more run. I was like, okay, my motor's not healthy. I'm going to try to do one more run and adapt to just the lack of horsepower, and we'll change the setup really quick, loosen up the car so I could qualify. Well, I line up to do my second run, and I look down at my oil pressure gauge, and it's down to 3 PSI. So I'm like, okay, I can't do this one run because I am definitely going to destroy my motor. I pull off the line and just drive straight back to the pits. And I actually shut off my car as soon as I get off the track, and we push the car back to the pits. We save it. I changed the oil. Like I put fresh oil in it, changed the filter, looked through everything. We basically just did what we can to make the car run one more run. And it worked out. I lined up to do qualifying. We ran like a 87, put us like mid-pack, like 15th, I think, overall. As soon as I got done with that run, we started pulling the motor because that motor was just on its last leg. So
you went
Friday was hectic.
So you went through qualifying with a bad engine.
Yeah.
So you didn't.
It was super bad.
Okay. So see, like I think a lot of people didn't know that. Like they
There's
thought
a lot of things.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that happened that weekend that a lot of people will not know. It was just awful. But I think it made me and the team, work really hard and made us kind of more prepared for stuff like that in the future, for sure.
Okay. Well, so you got back to the track and back to the pits and start pulling out the engine.
Exactly. Like we ran the first run. I knew that score was good enough to get me in the show. There's less than 32 drivers, and I knew it was probably good enough to not be dead last either.
Right.
So, that was really it, man. We started pulling the motor. I had to do a bunch of sponsorship obligation things before I could even start working on the car. So I was super worried about it because I couldn't lay my hands on it right off the bat. You know, my crew jumped on it and started pulling stuff. So as soon as I got done with autograph signing drivers meeting, I ran back and, you know, started wrenching on the car with them. And it took till about 3:30 at night till we got the other motor in, plugged everything up, and we couldn't even finish the job at 3:30 in the morning Friday night or Saturday morning because the fuel rails that we had weren't working with the new motor. We tried to adapt them. We use Dremel's grinders to take material off of them. We're trying to convert LS3 fuel rails to LS7 fuel rails. We put it all back together, just giant fuel leaks on multiple injectors because they weren't seating well. I knew this was going to be an issue, so we had overnighted fuel rails that were supposed to show up Friday early in the morning. We paid extra to have it extra early in the morning. So we went to bed unsure if the motor is going to jive with everything because we couldn't fire it up. We didn't have all the last parts that we needed for it. Saturday morning, we showed up to the track. First thing I did when I woke up after a couple hours or 4 hours of sleep at the most, I tracked that package. And I soon realized there was an issue with tracking. It's not getting there as promised. Sure enough, we got to the track. The parts didn't show up. So we were in a frantic to get the fuel leaks to go away. We double O-ringed my fuel injectors, did all kinds of safety wire the injectors to the rails, just did all kinds of stuff. And as we were trying to do this, it kept leaking. So that was another moment of doubt, hey, maybe this is a sign to just leave it alone.
Right.
Just, you qualified, you're on a dead motor, just let it go. But we just kept trying stuff. Some more dremeling, some more creative ideas with all of us, and we got it to seal up, and I felt safe enough to drive the car. So Top 32 started, and the car was working pretty good. We obviously didn't have time to dyno tune. The motor was longer stroke, larger displacement, completely different porting on the head. Not sure if the camshaft was the same. So, I mean,
supercharged.
Yeah, and then you put your supercharger on top of it.
Yeah, just for safety measures.
I mean, I didn't use the nitrous because that was going to be even harder on the motor. So we actually didn't use it at the beginning of the day. I turned the ECU to self-learn. So practice, the few runs I got to do in practice, the ECU was learning how much fuel the motor needs, and we left the timing tables alone. It was just basically cross my fingers and hopefully that motor works with the current fueling setup and everything we have.
How did the car feel with that self-learning tuning or that self-tuning?
The Holley EFI works really well, and if it's on my street car, I wouldn't even dyno tune the car. I would just plug it up, turn self-learn on, and just rip on the car and drive it around. But on a supercharged application and then nitrous on top of it, it's a little sketchy to just rely on the ECU to learn. So, it's not ideal. I don't recommend anyone to just go out there and do that. But we had no choice, man.
Absolutely. What power do you think the thing was making with that crazy setup you put on it?
The Genesis with that exact same engine was making 820 to the wheels. So it should have been, on a healthy tune, it should have been making 820. Definitely felt slower than the previous motor I had in there. I'm sure that it wasn't ideal, the tune wasn't ideal, but it was working plenty well, enough power to work. But the problem is, after Top 32, we line up to run Turk, I believe it was. I don't even remember when the motor started failing, but the new motor started to fail, and it was soon after Top 32 is when it started to fail. And it felt like it was a similar failure, which I think was valve train. I think we're just over revving it. I should have dropped the rev limiter. I just couldn't believe that the valve train was failing because we've ran that rev limiter setting before. So the second motor we put in started exhibiting the same signs of failure. Luckily, it wasn't exhibiting the low oil pressure because I don't think we popped the lifter out of this one. I think the lifter stayed in its area, so it was at least keeping safe oil pressures.
Do you have an AccuSump?
Yeah, I do have an AccuSump, but it was a static oil pressure problem, we weren't seeing oil pressure drops or anything from data logging it. It was just static oil pressure, like something like a light switch just went off and it just dropped oil pressure at all RPMs on the previous motor, which I believe is from the valve train failing and then the lifter getting pushed out of its area, and it just basically created an open orifice inside the motor that allowed oil to just bleed off.
Yeah.
So, but long story short, the second motor started to fail. I clearly remember lining up to run Osbo is when the motor was unhealthy. I was in the burnout box, and I'm sure Osbo and his guys were like, "What is wrong with this car? It sounds like complete garbage." And that's when I said, "This motor's probably not going to last long because I'm going to abuse the crap out of it." So I turned nitrous on for that run, which definitely decelerated the lifespan of that motor, but it allowed me to keep driving without going super high on tire pressures and completely loosening up the car.
Right. It's kind of funny when you have Osbo, who's running a minivan 4-cylinder turbo, saying, "Man, that thing sounds like shit." Yeah, it must have sounded really bad.
Yeah, it didn't sound pretty at all. And it vibrated. The car vibrated a lot because it was so imbalanced. Like there was a cylinder or two down, so it was just, it felt awful. Like an overstroked 5-liter Mustang or something.
Shitting on Fords now.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves because before that, you battled Turk, and it was pretty badass. You won, but then there was a protest. Like after, like you won, you're pretty much ready for the top 8. It's been 35 minutes at least when they suddenly come back like, hey, there was a protest, and you actually have to go and battle Turk again.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Protests do occur way more often than the fans know of, because most of them don't get the time of day. Most of them don't get overturned because they're not valid.
Yeah.
And Turk's dudes are on point, and he's got a good spotter that was able to show evidence and conform to the rule book in a way that allowed them to, I guess, take on his protest. So, it is what it is. I definitely didn't want to run again. I felt good about my run, but Ryan actually pulled up to my car and he's like, "Hey, we filed a protest. Or taking a look at it. We might have to run again." And it was totally fine. We had a calm, collected conversation, and I asked him what he felt went wrong, and
totally
like, all right, if we have to go again, we got to go again. And
what was the protest over?
Pretty much.
Well,
it was. It was coming off the bank into Intercliff 1. Ryan felt that my car slowed down a lot more than he anticipated.
Yeah.
So he, like that run, I felt an impact from his car. It was pretty big. And when we were done with the run, there was half an inch more toe in on my car. But then the other corner of the car got hit so hard that the bash bar was in my wheel, so the car wasn't rolling freely. So it got beat up pretty good, which didn't look like it on video, but it got bashed up pretty good. So I'm glad I was able to complete, honestly, the run after getting hit, because the car was definitely not running right after that. Like the alignment was pretty off, and there was a lot of friction on the other side from the bash bar ramming into the wheel. So there's definitely a big difference in speed. And I feel like, I think Ryan took a very aggressive line to be on my door. He was trying to close in the gap. And
Yeah, I think he even knocked that clipping point because he definitely was a little more tight in order to catch up. But when I was watching the race, especially after watching the replay over and over, it did look like your car either, I don't know if you were over rotating a little too much, or like there was definitely not a lot of tire smoke coming off your tires. And now that you're saying that you start feeling like the engine was starting to fail around that do you think that was kind of like what the problem was? That maybe it was just like the engine wasn't responding properly and it made you slow down a little bit?
No, that whole scenario, the car was still not giving me problems. To be honest, even when the motor was failing, it seemed like there's no issue keeping speed because we keep track of every driver and their pace around the track, and it was surprising that the car was keeping pace with everyone. To be honest, around Interclip 1, throughout the whole weekend, there was I felt like it was a similar pace that I was going around it. But when you put another car behind you that is cutting the line maybe or just is killing it as far as speed's concerned, you're going to have a pretty big discrepancy on speed.
Yep.
Throughout the weekend, there's times where I would overshoot clip 1 and I would have to pour on angle or, adjust the line. But it was as soon as I passed Inter clip 1. And it's not really out of the norm for me to do that. I'll tell you this, though. When we switched, when we got it one more time and I followed him, that was an area where I felt like I was getting gapped by him. So his car was definitely faster in that area.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole different dynamic. I think his car is much faster there, and my car was tailored to turn in one direction more so than the other one. That's kind of how we set the car up on a track that, you have to turn right every single turn.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing is, like, right after that, you guys went at it, and you pulled probably one of the most amazing follows we've ever seen on the initiation at Wall. And it was so big. I mean, Gerald was yelling on the live stream. You could hear the people was just going crazy. And while we were watching, we were just jumping off our couches. Like, this was so insane. And then, so you did an amazing follow. But then your lead run wasn't as great, let's say. I mean, it was still pretty good. It just wasn't that great. And the judges call one more time. Like, what's going on in your head at this point? Like,
well, I knew I made a mistake on my lead run. It was actually going into the infield, and it is what it is. Like I was.
Hello. Nope. Sorry, I think we're breaking up a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah, sorry, my phone is. Are you hearing me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah, so I was saying the one more time there wasn't nothing too surprising.
Okay.
I made a mistake on my run. I was literally I had no clue which way it was going to go. So, the one more time was a fair game for sure.
And then you went one more time, and you did it not once, but twice. Insane initiation on the bank. Like, just as soon as Turk started, Odie's right there on the door. And just followed, like, right there. There's a slow motion video. I don't know. I can't remember who took it, but it's over the Facebooks. And it just looks how, like, in very, very slow motion, you're, like, probably a left foot braking and just adjusting. I don't know. I mean, it just, I don't have the words. I don't know what to say. It just looks so badass. And you went at it, and next, your lead, and you win this time. So, I mean, how crazy is for you to just say, I'm going to do the exact same thing again. And that's exactly what you did on your follow.
Yeah. Well, that's what you have to do, man.
Are you a robot?
At this level, that's the only way to do it. Every little hiccup, causes it one more time.
Yep.
So there's not much room for error, man. These guys are good. Ryan's on point. We knew what we were getting ourselves into when we had to run him. my spotter is telling me he's been on it. So I did what I had to do.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy now that this is where the sport's at, where really every battle's tough, and the only in some cases where you get advancements if somebody makes a mistake, because everybody's equally good.
Even the top 32 battles are hard now.
Yeah, Forsberg went against Osbo in top 30. You know what I mean? Like, there's no easy brackets anymore. It's everybody kind of on the same playing field, and that's why that one small correction, even not being as high up on the bank, could be a big ding against you, because everybody's running the bank. So you make one little mistake and you're off it by a foot or two, that's a big deduction. It's like you have to be on it every single run, which you should be anyways, but it's just forcing it on you that much more.
And this is all on a bad engine, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The engine hasn't healed itself.
No, it was a nail biter every single time I line up, and I would turn off my motor as soon as we're done running. You know, there's many times when as soon as we pull up to wait to see who wins, like usually you're sitting there idling your motor. I would turn it off there, like I was just trying to save that thing. I'm really glad I did, because it ended up not lasting the whole entire time, and
which
it could have broke even sooner.
It's so crazy. Okay, you went against Osbo. Same thing happens.
So,
he hits one more time with Osbo.
One more time with Osbo.
Yeah, and Osbo's hard to crack, so, you know, I felt like running with Osbo, I kind of threw it in even harder, because at that point I was like, either my motor's going to blow like any minute, or I'm, you know, if I take it easy, I'm going to regret it. You know, there's like nothing to lose. So, you know, I went in really hard, and I tried my best, and I had to do it, you know, another time. It's like, man, like this car's not going to last very long, and frankly, I'm pretty tired myself. Like, I've been driving a lot, not that much sleep, so that was a really tough battle, but it was really, really entertaining. I mean, every time as soon as we clutch kicked into the bank, it was like I was grinning. Like it was amazing.
Well, you look awesome. That's a crazy thing. Like after you went battle Osbo, same thing, insane follow from the bank. It's like you're like, all right, might as well let's do this for the third time. It happened one more time. You go at it again with Osbo. At this point, like you're probably short on tires, and the engine is like you're just like waiting. Like it feels like a ticking bomb.
Yeah, it was a ticking bomb for sure, but you know, it did what it needed to do, I guess. Yeah. And Amy always tells me, like, hey, you do better when you're at a disadvantage. And I'm kind of a firm believer at that. Like, if there's something that I know is just not right, it makes me overdrive the car. It makes me drive it harder than I normally would. And I kind of maybe take more risk, and it usually pays off. So it was weird that exact same thing happened that she's been telling me, and it was just wild, man. That we kept going, and everything was somewhat working out.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff.
I was gonna say you're only saving. Yeah, I was gonna say your only saving grace was Matt Field, or not Matt Field,
Kaufman.
but Matt Kaufman. Having some technical issues, which saved your engine that additional.
It's crazy because you did went one battle with Kaufman, right?
Yeah, we didn't have to run Kaufman. I lined up with Kaufman, burned up my tires, warmed them up. So did he. And then right before we went, fuel just started dumping out of his motor.
Yep.
Like left a big spill on the tracks, and I guess they weren't able to resolve it within their 5 minutes. And
which was crazy.
That was kind of a blessing in disguise, because I didn't have to run him, but I had to run even more than that, because I had 2 or more times a protest right ahead of that. So it's like,
and you still had to do the buy run.
I even asked them, like, hey, do I need to do this buy run? They said, yes, you do. And then I said, hey, do I need to drift it? Can I just drive the buy run? They said, yes, you need to drift it. And I'm like,
why?
Man, this is like,
Dude, whatever.
This is really unnecessary right now for my car.
Whatever happened to? I thought back in the day it was if you can prove your car leaves the line,
it
doesn't
okay. Matter. Even if you get that 0, I mean, you move on.
Yeah.
I think everyone just wanted to see my motor just blow up in flames.
Dude, you had a target on your back, and everybody knew that your engine was ready to do. No, Odie, actually, you have to do 2 buy runs to show that your car can
both.
Yeah, simulate a lead and chase. But we're gonna get this thing to blow up any minute. Just wait.
Jesus.
So I did like the bare minimum on that buy run just to keep the car sideways and
just running the bottom of the bank, just like floating it around.
Shallow angle. It's still a lot of smoke. I mean, you were like, all right, fuck it. I mean, I got this. if it's gonna blow, you better blow big, right?
It's one of those things where that car. I mean, if you don't drive it somewhat aggressively, it's gonna straighten out on the bank. You're gonna go right into a guardrail. You kind of have to put your foot down. But I wasn't being excessive within trying to keep the RPM as low as possible. But it was definitely like. I was trying to tippy-toe it around and get it back off the track and, save it for what's to come later.
I wish you went into the first bank and just spun out and it's been like, I spun out on my buy run. Yep, spun out on the buy. No worries. Sorry, guys.
Buy run gets the win.
Yep. Or just run your left rear super low and just beat a tire that run and just limp it back. Like,
right.
Oh, dude, I should be your crew chief next year, Ode. We'd be tearing it up.
Yeah, maybe we'll hire you on as like a strategist.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, dude.
Those calls.
I'd be the Chad Knaus of Odie's race team. I'd be the crew chief. I'd be the spotter in the sky saying, hey, Odie, put it on the bottom and to beat a tire. Let's take this one home, baby. I'm ready to take a nap.
Well, and after, after that?
Okay. So all this shit's going down.
Everything's against him.
Fucking last runs against Michael Essa, who was on fire this whole event.
On fire as well.
And luckily that round you didn't have to go one more time. You did it all in one battle.
Yeah, Mike took himself out on that one in a way. I mean, he had no control over this, but he beat a tire.
And
he was listening to me. I was actually his spotter that run, Odie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah, I was like, Odie's on a bad engine, Essa. Just let him take it, dude. This dude's gonna. He hasn't slept. Let's run this thing at 4 PSI, put it on the bottom. Let's take this baby home.
I have a fresh Camaro for you anyway, so you're going to like it.
Let's pull the black Camaro out. We're running that next event.
Yeah, so I kind of got lucky on that one, but at the same time I was ready to to battle it out and keep it going. But when that happened, he beat it. I had no clue because I was leading.
Right.
Okay. So I finished off the run, and that was our last run of that battle. And coming around, there's a touch and go, and then inner clip 3, which is the last inner clip. The touch and go, crawling out of it, I had to just clutch kick the car repeatedly to make it around that turn because the power completely dropped off.
Oof.
And then coming around the last inner clip in the finish line, there's like water that squirted on the windshield, smoke that came out. And the motor just like started, and that was it. It was done.
The motor was celebrating already. It was popping champagne.
It's like, I got it. We made it. I'm ready to let go. Well, think about it's like taking your last breath. Just like, okay, I'm done, dude. You just wrung my neck. Fuck this. I'm blowing my brains out.
Yeah, it was completely done. So I just turned it off so that I don't cause a fire or anything crazy. Yeah. And it got towed around the pits from there. It got towed to the podium, and got towed back to the trailer, and then it got pushed into the trailer. The car retired as soon as it could. It was done.
Well, I'll tell you this, Odie. That interview of you on the start-finish line was awesome. And it was like, I don't know if you're emotional, but I got emotional watching it. I don't know if that's weird.
I think Odie was more like, oh, finally this is over.
I don't know, dude. It was definitely like a tearjerker, heart ripper, dude. Like, I definitely was vibing off you that. I was like, this fucking dude just laid it, his whole heart out there.
He pretty much created like the best story.
For sure. Out of the whole weekend.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, but your interview, dude, it was a tearjerker. I don't know if you knew that or if you had that written. Like, I didn't know if you had this whole weekend planned out where you were going to write the interview.
He started like this. I have a dream.
Yeah.
Where? Oh, no,
he came up with the storyline. He's like, hey, video guys, guess what? I'm gonna make a great story. Listen, he's like, who is the director of Transformers? Michael Bay. He was the Michael Bay of the week, and he's like, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna change 2 motors in this thing. I'm gonna get an injector leak.
A tire just gonna blow.
We're gonna blow the tire off in practice.
Make sure to get that in slow mo. By the way,
end of the story is we win.
Oh, twist.
Yeah, there's a.
Plot
so
twist.
he wrote this whole script. FD and him wrote this whole script for this weekend.
Of course, it was. I mean, come on. I think by now we all know it's all scripted.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, Falcon, big sponsor, driver. It was supposed to win the most movie-esque kind of.
Well, they have really good writers for this kind of stuff.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
They paid the
but
writers.
I definitely was trying my best to hold it together because that was, that win meant a lot for sure. And just moving on to top 16 meant a whole lot to me and the team because of what we were going through.
Yeah.
So just putting points on the board was rewarding enough, because there was no light at the end of the tunnel when we started hitting problem after problem. So,
how close were you to crying during that interview? Let's cut the bullshit.
I was just trying to hold it together, man. And,
he almost let go, baby.
Yeah.
I was like, he's gonna let it go. Oh, he's rubbing the eyes. He's rubbing the eyes. He's about ready to he's gonna start blowing steam like the engine right now. Watch. No, dude, but it was definitely such a cool moment, dude. Like, it was awesome.
Now, let's be honest. Let's be honest here. How much of all of this accomplishment is because of your awesome body kit?
Oh, come on, Paco. Why are you doing 2 F plugs?
Well, I didn't say anything.
Dude,
it kept the engine together.
Really cool about your body kit? Also, is that's on photos of rough events like Jersey, where the suspension really goes through its full cycle.
Yeah.
The side skirts are dragging the ground, which is kind of badass. The only problem to that is now I'm corners of the side skirts because they're so cool and low, but it is badass. I dig it, man.
So Paco needs to make super high side skirts for the next 2F, super shallow side skirts.
Little skate plates on the corners or something. But,
little curve feelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance? Did you have a chance to look at the engine to see if there's any holes in the block, or if it was just? Did you ever have a chance to go in there with the fleshlight and see what's going on?
With a what?
Fleshlight.
Sorry, Odie. I think we lost him. No, Corey, did you hang up on him?
He lives in the woods. I don't know if you guys know this or not.
Are you still there, Odie?
I think we lost him at fleshlight.
She was like, all right, I'm not doing this.
He's probably over there. He's like, hey, Amy, pass me the fleshlight so I can check out the engine bay.
All right.
Hold on. I'm gonna
call him.
Let me try this again.
It looks like.
Yeah, Odie. Okay.
So we can apologize for your fleshlight.
No, that was totally on purpose because we know Odie's a party animal and he stays up late at night. He just said that he was up until 3 a.m. the day of the event.
He's a married man. He needs no damn fleshlight.
Yeah. He was a former fraternity.
Up. There it is.
I'm calling Odie back. Let's see if he gets it. I don't know why he gave me his number because I'm just going to keep calling it all the time. Hey, dude.
What's up? He's calling you.
Oh, look at that.
Went on.
Let's see if this works.
Yo.
We're live again.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, sorry.
Why you guys keep hanging up on me?
Because we thought we lost you at fleshlight.
Corey was saying that you grabbed your flashlight to go look at the engine. And you were like, oh, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I'm done with
Goodbye. Just hang up.
No, I got horrible service at my house. I live in the mountains, and it sucks.
Yep. I just gave everybody your address, your phone number. I was like, yeah, Odie lives in the mountainside of 555 Horn Dog Lane.
Circle.
Nice.
Horn Dog Circle.
Sorry, Odie. Sorry to have you back in this conditions.
But right before you got off the phone, I asked you, did you have a chance to go in there and look at the engine bay to see if there was any noticeable damage? Other than obviously shit pissing out, is there cracks or holes?
We looked just quickly, and there's no holes in the block or anything like that. I honestly think that the cylinder head just lifted on one bank and just completely lost power because one of the cylinders was obviously down. I think the rocker arm bolt was broken. I think that the valve was at least one of the valves wasn't opening, so it was just overpressurizing the cylinder, and eventually the cylinder head couldn't take it any longer. That's my theory, but I'm going to be very curious to pop these things open and see what I destroyed, what I did. I have a feeling it was my fault for having the tune rev up a little too much on my valve train, and yeah, I usually don't kill motors, and I think that track was just not healthy for, like, the gearing in my car. I think was just spinning it a little too high for a little bit too long.
Right.
So.
Hopefully the guys at CBM like you a lot.
Hopefully, man, because they're gonna be like, "You idiot! What did you do to our expensive motors?"
You're gonna tell them, "Well, I won."
No, well, yeah,
you know, you win on Sunday, sell on Monday.
What you say is, "Oh, I noticed the noticeable problem way early in the event. I didn't think it was a big deal, so I kept running on it, and then you wouldn't believe it broke. So I put another one in, and nothing fit on it. So we did it anyways and ran it. So I don't know what happened, but it just ended up letting go.
The worst customer, the worst.
Yes, you should be the worst customer, and see if you get 2 freebies out of it.
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. LS3. You said it was LS3 when I bought it, and injectors didn't fit when it said it's LS3.
Yeah, there you go. That's
yeah.
That's how you get free engines.
God, I should be a negotiator for Odie too, because he would have free everything.
Can you help me get a free engine from my Buick Reatta?
Yeah, I'll just go up there with Odie and try to get 3. Say he blew up 3.
So at this point, we tried your V6 from this Buick Reatta, and it didn't work either.
Yeah, it was a mess. The thing was knocking, and we pulled it off the lot.
Yeah, race car people are the worst to deal with, man.
Oh, dude, 100%.
We know.
So after the event, like, just to wrap up the New Jersey talk
he
before we go on the other topic.
Anything from that moment until we woke him up.
Because I want to get off the New Jersey topic because there's so many cool things to talk to Odie about.
Yeah.
But, okay, end of the event, podium's over, your team walks back to the pit. What do you guys do?
Sleep.
We're super stoked and just thinking and telling each other, like, how crazy it is that we did this, how crazy it is that we did that. Like, we're just like, I think all in all, like, this worked out. We pulled it off. Like, holy crap. So we're just all really stoked. Like, it was a good feeling that, like, the work paid off. It was a good vibe in the pit for sure.
Yeah.
Everyone was finally relaxed because none of us were relaxed for 24 hours straight.
Right.
We were.
I'm sure it made the victory that much more sweet.
It did. Like, it was tense to the point where in the burnout box, I had one of my guys just staring at my car, making sure there's no fuel leaking out, because we knew there was something a little sketchy with the fuel injectors. I mean, I felt like it was safe enough for me to drive the car, obviously, but just to be triple, sure, like, we were just on high alert about everything, like checking over the swap, because we threw a motor together on super low energy. Like, I'm going to get this car in the lift, and I got to pull it all apart, and I'm not going to be surprised if some of the hardware is not where it needs to be, type of thing. So we're just all relieved that it was done and over with.
Awesome, dude. What a great story. Thank you for being the wild man that we know. Last question, actually, on this topic. Have you ever worked this hard at an event in your life?
No, I don't think so. No, flat out no.
Straight up, nope.
That's awesome. Anyways, let's stop talking about New Jersey. Are you done? Because do you know what? Let Odie sleep on New Jersey. Let's move forward, because there's a lot of other cool shit that Odie knows that we don't.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of cool stuff. And we haven't talked to Odie in quite some time. Actually, last time we talked to Odie was...
We had him sitting here with us.
We had him here live, and we had Mimosa Sundays with Odie.
It was Odie Mimosa weekend.
Odie Mosa.
Bakchis. Special day, very
those
special
were delicious, by the way.
Dude, they were so
really good.
I couldn't believe you smurfed that whole one. Dude, so back in the S14, are you pumped on that?
I am. I feel like it's hard to outdrive that car until the motor's half dead. When everything's working well, it's like it's hard to outdrive it.
Yep.
It's a good chassis. I know it's old, it's played out, whatever, but it's got a lot of potential, man. Like, people haven't haven't 100% figured that chassis out. Believe it or not, there's still a lot of potential in it. So it feels great to be in a car where I feel like I could still make things better and better and better.
People still like it.
Yeah, it's still
it's
no,
still
for sure,
very
for sure.
relevant.
There's a huge demographic that not just like it, they love it. You know, like, but you know, we have fans that are into like just newer, cooler, whatever. There's definitely a split, a divide in our sport for sure. But,
right.
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
no problem with that.
And what was the reasoning why you're not running the Genesis anymore? Is it just because the whole you and Matt Field partnership thing, or were you just like, do you know what? I just don't like the car, or is it just
No, it's actually the Matt Field deal was kind of developing like very late in the off season. Like I pretty much had all my stuff figured out, and I actually got Matt on board with ARC Performance. He is also now an ARC Performance sponsored driver.
Nice.
That was kind of an aftermath of me not driving the Genesis. It opened up a little bit of budget and just shifted things around. They couldn't throw all their eggs in one driver, so we brought on Matt Field to give ARC Performance more advertising. Since they couldn't plaster it across one car, we spread it out across two cars.
Brilliant.
The long story short, I'm not driving the Genesis because I feel like the wheelbase is a little long for what the judges want to see on track. The car is a little on the heavy side. It's a little on the big side. So we did phenomenal in the car. We got it working really well, but you know, that ability to take a shorter wheelbase car, a lighter car by nature, a little further was really enticing to me. And then there's also there's an element of owning your own car and putting a lot of that time and effort into your own car. The Genesis is not my car. It belongs to ARC Performance, although I feel like sometimes I forget that it's not mine because I put so much effort into that car. So
Right, I feel you. Have you ever decided to call Matt Field Matt Feel?
No, I think I'm one of the few people that don't ever call him Fields, and it drives me nuts when people are like, hey, you and Fields are doing well. I'm like, dude, I don't even correct people, but it's just, I don't know, it kind of drives me nuts.
I was calling him Matt Feel, F-E-A-L.
Oh, Feel. Okay, I thought you said Field.
No,
like
Feel. I was trying to. We should do something on that where we keep mistaking him as your suspension company.
You named your suspension company after him.
Yeah. Hey, this is Matt Feel Suspension. Actually,
Yeah,
Odie named it after me.
Yeah, you guys should do that. I think you would enjoy that a lot.
Oh,
especially
I love it.
Suspension sponsor would love it. So
Yeah, because I was going to say, you guys
go
are frenemies. When are you going to throw some feels on his hot rod?
I don't know, when he mans up and goes for it. No,
Yeah.
he's got a good deal with another company, and he's kind of the face of Powered by Max, and that's a great partnership that they got going on. So I'm not a home wrecker, man.
He was here last week. I wasn't here, but he was the guest last week, Matt Field.
Yeah.
You guys were talking to him about all that, and well, talking more about China. D1 China. Yeah. But we're just saying, we just had you guys back to back.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize. I didn't put you
that's what I was trying to say. So
nice, Matt Field.
The frenemies, both doof drivers. Looking great.
Yeah, they look great this year. Yeah. Odie's super stylish this year.
Yeah, man. Look at look at the videos, the 4K slow motion. The car looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, Odie.
He just needs a rear bumper though.
Yeah, he went lower than ever. Odie used to be monster truck.
You know what's fun is the rear bumper. Matt Field in the drivers' meeting was complaining, not complaining, but it's like, hey, if we run the wide line that you, the judges, want, our bumper drags the ground because the bank starts to come up. In the infield, your bumper literally sometimes starts breaking when you're on the wide line because it starts dragging the concrete. So it's like, man, you should just cut the bottom of your rear bumper off and you won't have that problem. He got all it. What? I'll never cut my bumper.
Oh,
just funny that you guys brought it up. Just wanted to let you know there's more purposes to cutting that bumper than a lot of people know. But.
Oh yeah, you have the diehard style over function, and then you have the guys that are function over style.
Yeah.
Which I believe.
Yeah, you got to balance them for sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's an aesthetic sport.
There's still a piece of
like it,
bumper
but-
in there. It was like a little, like
how high is Odie's bumper cut? Is it cut pretty high?
Yeah, it's just like pretty much like the deck, and that's it. It drops
Dude,
down, and that's it.
It is like the shorts of drifting. It's kind of ugly, but it gets the
It's
the
like his
job
car
done.
is wearing a romper.
Okay, so he has the romper bumper.
It's got the romper bumper,
Nice. Yeah,
pretty much.
I gotta look that up because
Yeah.
I remember he started training because Farouk shortly jumped on board.
I remember the first time I saw that. I think it was Miro Optrick. I think had that bumper.
Oh, Miro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody before him was doing that, but I remember it was very particular looking at his car with that, and I was like, oh my god, put a bumper on that car.
No, make a 2F stubby bumper.
The 2F stubby.
Yeah.
No doof.
Dude, you should just make a 2F like Odie edition bumper.
Oh,
Yeah.
And maybe
Dude.
that'll make it popular, you know, and then people will stop giving me
let's make it
a hard
official.
time over it. Let's do it.
2017, the
And you know how
Audi
much
bumper.
fiberglass you're gonna? You know how much fiberglass you're gonna save?
That's true.
It's like literally half of the bumper.
True that. I'll send you the first prototype in a week.
Oh.
do it.
How
Dude,
about
look at that, Odie.
Do it.
Okay, I get 10% of any of your earnings, Odie, since I helped you with that. Any other future deals, I'll get 26%.
26.
And we could write up like a really cool like marketing campaign for it. Like these are the benefits of running this bumper.
A
Right.
Y.
Because there's a ton.
All right.
Oh.
All right.
I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah.
This is magic in the making.
I listen to it. I don't listen to Matt Field though. He keeps
No.
telling me that he wants like Kevlar nonsense
Oh yeah.
and all those things, and I'm gonna pay attention to Odie instead.
Okay, let's go back to this because Odie's the perfect person to talk to as well.
Okay.
When you first got into FD, Odie, you were running the S14 again, right? Still, you've always been an S14 guy.
Yeah, the only time I ran an S13
a
is
hatchback.
in Pro-Am, and I still drive my S13 all the time,
Right.
like for fun.
And that's a hatch, S13 hatch.
It is a hatch. I love coupes,
Yep.
but I ended up getting a hatch. Either way.
Which, by the way, you have those rear panels for the hatch now too.
Dude, I saw that, and my rear panels are really, really haggard, so
Oh.
I'll be talking.
Hey, Paco, I know somebody's name's Odie. He might need some rear panels. Consider hooking him up.
I think maybe if he podiums first place, I'll probably give him some stuff for free. Absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. Awesome. I hope he does well.
I
yeah.
honestly think my S13 just needs a complete like makeover. That
Complete
car's
makeover.
it's been on like that same haggard yet polished turd look since like 2012. So yeah.
Dude,
I
you should
just
have
been
let us
beating-
know before so we could put it on Drift Garage instead of Sam's turd.
Yeah, your S13 should have been on Drift Garage with Forsberg. He shows up.
Welcome to Drift Garage. Today we're building Odi Bakchis' old S13 hatchback. Look at this turd.
And Odie just acts dumb like he has no idea how to work on cars.
Oh, hi.
See, that's why Sam's a perfect candidate because Sam doesn't know how to work on cars.
Hey,
Imagine
so-
if Odie was there and Odie'd be like, God
Yeah.
damn.
I got a question.
Uh-oh.
Is
Yep.
your S14, since it's been like pimped out, like, you know, by Chris and Ryan, is it badass now, or is it like?
Oh, his S14.
Uh,
Well, there's a thing called red band. No, what's it like? The red tape that we're not allowed to say. So we only can say
Sure.
what is allowed to be seen on the videos, on the YouTube videos.
but yeah, Sam says it's a ripper.
That's what he says. But
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I get it.
Yeah. What else? Oh yeah. So I was going back to my original question.
Okay.
Odie, so Odie's been always an S14 guy. One thing that
Yeah.
blew me away about Odie was how stock his car was in his first year of Formula Drift.
Didn't you had a factory fuel tank and
Like
dashboard?
factory LS ECU.
No,
like how stock was
There's a
this?
lot of. It's pretty embarrassing. It was very stock for sure. I think I put a hydraulic handbrake in like 2013 or maybe later. It had a factory handbrake, factory trunk, like everything.
So you had to put the
there's
little
very-
lever by the door to pop open the fuel tank. Blink.
It did actually. Yeah, everything was there.
Because it was a factory tank.
Yeah, this is filled in the little door.
Pop the tank
I
open.
think
on the floor.
I think that broke eventually, and then we moved it over so you pull like a little cable like near the quarter panel somewhere.
Oh, well.
Or it ended up being it degraded, man. All the factory features were breaking. So
how cold was the air conditioning in 2014?
Yeah, literally still running all AC components.
So the trunk, it was intact. I remember my rookie year, we got fourth place actually in Vegas, and then as we're going through the battles, one of my guys changing tires was like, "Dude, Odie, like there's an extension cord hanging out of your trunk because there's those drain holes." And we're like, "Dude, let's pop the trunk. What is in there?" We popped the trunk. I have left the shop vacuum in there from vacuuming the car and getting it ready for that event.
So the shop vacuum's cord was smoking out.
Hanging out of the trunk. He left it in the trunk.
Yeah, the cord was. That's the only way we found out it was in there. So,
It was a weight ballast.
And
yeah, but those were different times. I mean, the barriers to entry in the sport were lower. You know, like it's.
But still, it wasn't until 2013, 2014 when you started making changes.
Yeah.
Like you were running bare bones for a while. And why was that? Why would you run such a stock car?
Well, I mean, honestly, I was doing a lot of this out of my pocket. You know, the sponsorship didn't come around till later on. So I did what I had to do just to stay in the sport. You know, I didn't want to spend everything in one season and, you know, ruin myself and my family financially. So I was just being wise and, you know, doing things, you know, bare minimum type of thing. And it paid off, you know. It's what you got to do sometimes, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing is you could look at this past weekend and realize how much work you put in to win and all the effort from your whole team, and you get a small trophy, and sometimes you scratch your head and it's like, man, was that freaking worth it? It's like I just almost killed myself and my team, but somehow this trophy is worth that.
But you know, as the sport gets more competitive, it becomes more and more worth it.
Absolutely.
At the same time.
Yep.
So it's you definitely have to have some screws loose in your head to do it. But that's why the sport's so entertaining to watch. Like these people are nuts. What's going on the track is just nuts. So yeah, this is not for everyone, and it's certainly entertaining to watch though.
Yeah, do you know, I think this year in Formula Drift has kind of gave the fans a unique perspective, especially I think it started off in Atlanta with the whole Kristaps thing, you know, him running over jack stands, and that was the first moment where FD actually documented a full 5 minute. What does a full 5 minute look like? And now the fans have this new perspective like, holy fuck, like these guys are willing to drive off jack stands with wrong wheels and nothing working to go out there and compete. And then they see this weekend, it's like, this dude just swapped 2 engines, Instagram post at 3 a.m., going out there, things are not right. I think it's a unique, cool side of the sports that this is one of the first years that fans are actually seeing that side,
they get
which
to
is a very,
that,
very cool perspective. And I think FD needs to put more light on that because that itself is entertainment. That itself is something that can get somebody, you know, liking an Odie. I love Odie because this dude just busted his balls for 2 days, you know, blowing up engines, switching them. I like Odie now. It gives another outlet for fans to start liking and picking people and getting more engaged. You know what I mean? Like Kristaps was the most talked about dude because he drove off jack stands. But it was because FD finally was able, like, let's showcase this. Let's document this.
Yeah.
Even though they probably just ran out of commercial time and they were like, let's just stay up there, even though it could be completely crazy. But it is such a unique, cool thing side of the sport of seeing what actually happens to stay on track.
Yeah.
It is. It's great that this is happening, and I think the feedback from this is good too. So it's going to happen more. I think you're going to see more and more of this kind of stuff. And we wanted to capture as much of behind the scenes type of stuff with the Frenemies video series that me and Matt are doing. And it's a work in progress. I think it's going to get better and better. So
I like it so far. How you like the? You're on the 3rd episode.
Well, we all know Odie's like a really good actor. He's been primetime for a long time. He's super talkative.
He's had a lot of experience in Broadway.
Yep.
He played
Val Kilmer,
Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yep. He was Iron Man.
He was Iron Man as well, and Iron Man the musical,
and the Incredible Hulk.
Yep. So you have that acting experience already on your belt.
But that's the thing is like,
yeah.
No, well, Odie, back in the day, you were kind of the quiet guy.
I feel like I still am. I mean,
You still are,
Still
but
soft-spoken.
soft-spoken, quiet guy. Like, hey, Odie's here.
Hi.
Hey guys. It's not like kick the door down. Odie's in the building, popping champagne.
We've been 1 hour and 20 into this interview, and Odie hasn't given us a single. Yeah, that's right, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah. Yep. He's like, yeah, I blew up 2 engines and I fixed it. My guys helped me fix it, so it was nice, and we won. No, but that's the thing is outside of that, it's like you're in a position where it's like you got great media now. You got the total package is coming together. Because one thing, like for me, why I liked Odie back in the day so much, and I still like Odie.
Yeah.
Odie, you're my favorite driver still. It was you and Kenny Moen actually, but the thing I liked, the thing I liked about Odie so much was he was so quiet like off the track, and then he would be this totally different guy on the track. And he drove so well, and then you see it back to the pits. I'm like, who fucking drove that car? And you see Odie over there like, hi. Just hanging out with Amy, my daughter, like soft-spoken, super mellow.
Humble.
And then you get on the track, and it's like,
An animal.
that dude's a beast.
It's an animal.
And that's at first when I first started knowing Odie. And then now he's finally getting content. And I said, looking at Odie, it's like, that dude could be the total package if he just was able to get the media put together. Because we all know, Odie may agree with this, that it's not just the driving anymore.
Yeah.
It's not just the driving; it's everything. And now that you got the frenemies thing coming together, it's like
he's a Falcon driver.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
A Falcon is not just drifting; it's like worldwide motorsports recognition.
Yep. And that's the thing is now that you got a media, how do you like being in front of the camera now that you're like having this frenemies thing?
It's great because I mean, being maybe not the most outspoken person now, this gives me the opportunity to showcase what goes on behind the scenes, like what I do and what my team does. So it's a good opportunity, definitely. And I'm really, really happy I was able to put it together with Matt. This kind of stuff takes a lot of work and takes some ideas of how to pull it off because, ultimately this stuff costs money too. So, luckily our sport's growing and it's attracting more momentum with companies wanting to advertise through our sport, so I think you'll see more and more cool stuff coming around. And I think
it's a good chemistry between you and Matt because Matt is more outspoken and more like livid, and you're more
Dude,
like
we're complete opposites.
Yeah,
dude,
you're like the voice of reason.
100%. Matt,
he's like fuck it.
Yeah, Matt Feel suspension is the maniac of the bunch.
Live wire.
Yeah, like Tijuana donkey show type of guy.
Neon yellow.
Yep, and you're more of like, do you know
Family
what?
guy.
Yeah, do you know what? I want to hang out.
Company man.
I'd be sick of Matt Field after one season.
Yeah, I think character-wise we're completely opposite. When we get behind the wheel, we drive in somewhat similar ways because historically, if we look at our battles, it's resulted in a lot of one more times.
Oh, really?
And they were really like some of the best battles that I remember. Weird enough, when we started this video series, we haven't got paired up to battle against each other, but it's historically been some good battles. Like if you go back, it's actually New Jersey, 2014, I believe, we had really epic battles. Irwindale, 2015, I believe, really sick battles as well. I was literally trying to lead him into the wall. Like I would put my car into the wall, and I was like, if Matt's going to drive as fast as I am, he's going to go in the wall. And it was a lot of fun, like super aggressive driving.
Nice.
So.
Well, see, like that's good because like there's a lot of stories that people want to watch now. People want to watch Chelsea versus Vaughn.
Yep.
They want to watch Forsberg versus Turk, Kaufman versus Honadale.
Yep. But
they want to watch Odi Bakchis versus Matt Field, both Falcon cars, both S14s, both old badass. Very similar driving. It'll be probably will be like stuck in a forever loop of one more times.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think about these partnerships and teammates. I think we're going to see more of them next year. I think teammates start creating this cool bond and this new media outlet, but now it's these fans now want to see it. It's another cool draw.
Yeah. It's cool, and it just honestly just makes sense because we're sharing resources. Like you could be trailering together, which is a huge resource to share, or maybe sharing media content together, or the expense of that media together. So it makes total sense. And Matt and I have, you know, a similar car, so we both build our cars and work on our cars, so we're always like kind of bouncing ideas back and forth. I've hired Matt to build like the subframe in the rear for my car, and then I've picked his brain a lot about it, and it goes back and forth. You know, like even in Jersey, even starting Long Beach, Matt would walk onto my pit. Hey, is your car doing this in the track? And I'm like, actually, it is. Like, we have the same like quirks about our cars that we're trying to work out, and it always, you know, we kind of have to work together to figure it out, which is kind of cool to be able to share those technical resources as well.
Do you ever look at them and be like, hey, man, your car's set up like shit?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we do that to each other all the freaking time. So our cars are very similar, but they're very unique in just like suspension-wise. They're fairly different. You just look at the way his car drives versus the way my car drives, and they do behave very differently on the track, but they kind of get the same goal across. Like, they ultimately have similar speeds, hit the same line, but the motions of the car are completely different, and we always like give each other a hard time about it. You know, whose car is better and whose car is just faster. So that's kind of what makes it fun. Like, we have like those differences to try to make our cars better, and that's why our cars are slightly different. We're trying to one up each other.
Have you guys seat swapped yet?
No, I haven't. I'm afraid to do it because then he'll just not want to drive his car ever again.
Touche. I believe it,
dude.
I freaking believe it.
Maybe it'll make you want to set up his car.
Or maybe he could pick something up off of Matt's car, like I don't know.
His vape.
Yeah, vape center console.
If Odie starts vaping now on, it's because it's our fault. You know,
his air pumper's a vape.
He starts like, well, you know, it's a great race.
Vape Stasia.
You know, did my best.
Yeah, just chiefing away on that thing.
Matt Clouds, dude. So what's next for our, what's next around Canada or
Canada?
Okay, 1 month.
It's like 3-4 weeks, right? Odie?
Yeah. We got the longest break, probably one of the longer breaks, but it's coming up. The car has to leave, I think, within 3 weeks because it goes on a trailer and drives across the country into a different one. So yeah,
So you drove the car all the way back to California?
No, they had a truck driver, but yes.
I mean.
Yeah, it's on its way back right now. I think, honestly, by the time it gets back, I'm going to be at Grid Life flying out to Michigan, so I'm going to miss my car getting to California.
Oh, we're going to see you there then in a week.
Yeah, for sure.
What are you going to be driving?
One of the teal and blue cars. I think we're going to, like, me, Di, and Justin. Actually, Darren McNamara is flying down from Ireland to drive there too.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's going to be like a shit ton of teal and blue on the track, and I think we're all going to Rochambeau for the cars.
So what car is it going to be? An S14?
Well, so there's a teal and blue S14 that's ride-and drive.
That's Darren's old car, right?
Yeah.
No, that one.
Oh.
So like the old, like, I think there's red underneath that teal and blue. It's like the old like HKS car or something, but now it's got an LS3 in it. It's pretty dialed.
Nice.
It's just the steering wheel's on the wrong side. The D-Max car is, I think, going to be there as well. It's kind of going to be like a way overpowered demo car, which is going to be really badass. And then there's a Mustang that they have that is going to be there as well that has been used for demo purposes for a while. So, and there's an S13 as well that is SR powered. So yeah, there's a handful of cars, and it should be a really good time.
That sounds cool. We'll see you there in 4 days.
I know, it's nuts. Like, I just got home. I'll be on my way pretty soon.
Hey man, that's the professional driver's life.
Yeah, No, it is. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
It's just it gets crazy, but it's fun.
Are you driving any other series? Like, have you been like going out of the country or anything this year?
No, not this year. I wanted to, but then things are pretty tight as far as schedules are concerned here, and I'm gonna do the 2 grid life events. So
Nice.
between that and Formula Drift, I'm really getting my jollies off on
Pretty
driving.
booked.
And I also try to do like grassroots events out here in California. Like I just went like the week before New Jersey. I was driving at a grassroots event, out here in California, and I definitely feel like I'm driving quite a bit, and I need to concentrate on keeping my cars together for this series. So this year I'm probably going to sit out of international events.
Well, you're also a family guy, so that's one of the things. You definitely. How old is your daughter, right?
Yeah, she's 3, and we take the family everywhere we go. So that's the only way to really do it.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I think you're ready for the Instagrams. The what do you call our commenters? Dreaded.
I don't think
Awful.
they're dreaded. I think they're. They speak the truth. They're the voice of reason.
The voice of reason of the Instagram comments.
So you ended up getting 80
something questions.
84
You're
comments.
lit, bro.
Yep. So let's see here. We're gonna shuffle through these real quick there, Ode, and we're gonna start firing off some questions at you.
XX Beaver Bait 420 XX. Why are you the raddest dude possible? Is it all in the name? Because it's not working for me. What a dickhead.
Yep.
Nice. Well, man, that's a. The question was why am I the what?
The
raddest dude?
The raddest dude possible.
That's awesome, man. Thanks.
Wow.
That's very kind.
More of a
man.
question is just a compliment.
Odie's just so humbled in victory and humbled in defeat. Here's Noodle Powers. Can you help Matt Field with his suspension setup? Stop them D beads.
Oh. Do you know what?
Oh,
Do you know if he debated because he hit the wall or?
No, I think they got it figured out. After it happening, but I'm not sure what it is. I'm sure they'll figure it out. His suspension, technique is different than mine. The setup's different. I'll be interested to see what they do differently to resolve the issue. For
so
sure.
my question to you then is: do you guys run significantly different tire pressures?
I don't think so. No, I know for a fact we don't because we talk about it. That's one of the things we share that we don't share with any other driver. No, we don't. So that is a head scratcher at the DB.
That is a head scratcher. This is from Ryan Collier 730. Would you rather fight 1,000 mouse-sized Matt Fields or one Paco?
With one Paco, like for sure.
Oh yeah,
I don't
for sure.
But I'm just, and I'm not saying you're a weak individual.
Why do you want to fight me?
Because you're not giving him enough body kits, Paco. And the Odie kit's not even out yet, so I'd punch you too.
If that's how's it gonna be, all right. Well, I mean, you know where to find me, bro.
No, the other alternative is just it sounds horrible.
There's a lot of
think about this.
Mouse-sized Matt
If I had to
Fields.
fight 1,000 mouse-sized Matt Fields, you know what I'd do? I would steamroll him. I'd lay on my side and just roll over him. Just look like a log rolling down the hill. Let's see.
Man, all the people in the questions.
Oh, here's
are
one.
on it.
Edward Thompson. I'm really looking forward to this episode. Ask him why he hit me right in the feels with that speech and how long did it take him to write. We just had a discussion about that.
Yep,
See,
it was
Odie, I'm
good.
not the only one. You're going for a tear jerk, dude. Come on. I want you to go out there next time, rip your shirt off, and do the lasso.
Nice.
Let's see. Okay, here's Alika80. How did he feel about the protest? Did he feel it was valid? Was he even more stoked and pumped to beat him the second time?
And a third.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I felt like I was keeping decent pace, but I'm actually stoked on the system working. You know, that me and Amy, my spotter, we wanted always Formula Drift to rule on the side of caution. If there's something that they see on the track that is ambiguous, is just not clear, we prefer that they rule on the side of caution and maybe call it one more time, or, you know, just if they're not sure, if the judges are not sure of something, we want them to not decide, to rule one more time. So we also like that there's an ability to protest and that, you know, there's a protocol for it. So it sucks that, you know, when it happens to you, but at the same time, it's good for the series. And, you know, if I was in Ryan's shoes, I'd be happy. So overall, I think it's good for the sport. And yeah, it felt damn good to, you know, go back out and knock him out. And that's kind of what I told Ryan. I was like, hey, if we go again, you know, it's going to be a rough one. It's like, I'm going to get you. So
well, you know, Ryan's a tall.
It felt good after.
Well, Ryan's a tall, skinny guy. You know, you could have walloped him once and just Nancy Kerrigan in his knee and not have to do it.
Question from Alan Union: Genesis Coupe or Genesis the band?
Oh, that's good.
Or Genesis the band?
Yeah.
I can feel
my wife hates his raspy kind of voice. So I'd say
Phil Collins? She doesn't like Phil
nosy.
Collins?
He's like very nosy voice,
no.
yeah.
No. But, dude, I actually, that's funny. I grew up listening to a lot of that because, like, my parents at that era were, like, super into Genesis, you know? So.
Nice. That's
but, yeah,
cool.
Genesis Coupe over Genesis the band.
Ah. Okay, here's one
Yeah.
from Jordan's a Giant. Seems like a huge majority of drivers are now running field coilovers, from Pro-Am to grassroots to Pro-1 drivers. What do you think is the best contributing factor to this? Overall customer support, quality of the products, or maybe your results in FD over the years?
I think a little bit of both, because I've been slacking on, like, making this more public and leveraging, but we've gotten so many wins. Like, field suspension has gotten so many wins. It's insane. I think 3 out of the 4 events in Formula Drift have been won on field suspension so far. Pro-Am, there's just any Pro-Am series you look at the podium, you're going to see it. But the contributing factor, I think, is the support. When we build our kits, we personalize them for every vehicle, and that really makes the cars work a whole lot better than off-the-shelf stuff. And we evolve our product through doing R&D in drift. We're one of the few bands that waste a bunch of time in this thing called drifting, and do a lot of R&D. I think a lot of brands just kind of don't give it the time of day because it's fairly a small niche market still, and it's hard for a lot of bigger brands to dedicate a lot of time to it, to develop suspension and to keep changing it year to year to, you know, adapt to this.
Nice.
I got one. This is from Otis JZS. Is there any significant meaning behind your car number 723? I like it because it's my birthday.
Oh man, now I have no excuse to like not send you edible arrangements and stuff. Now I know your birthday. I just rocked that number, I think, from when I raced mini motocross, like mini moto supercross it was called. They assigned, I think, that number to me. And I had a hell of a good time doing it. I was like just super fun and wacky, and ever since I just kind of stuck with that number with anything else that I did, like rally cars and drifting. Nice. Yeah, it just seems like my number now.
Got it. I have a question from Hot and Bearing Drift. Says, Odie, gotta say you admitting your wife was right on the mic was a baller move. Mad respect there. What was she right about? And also, can you elaborate on her role as your spotter and some of the benefits / difficulties of having the love of your life in that position?
Good question.
So what I was referring to when I said she was right there is not just generalizing it, and it was more so that she told me repeatedly, like, hey, when you have a disadvantage, you actually do better. And I definitely had a disadvantage with my engine failing. And usually if I have a disadvantage, I don't know. I seem to do better. Like
Interesting.
I get kind of angry at the disadvantage, and I just like battle through it. And then the second part of the question, she was actually not spotting for me in New Jersey. We didn't have a babysitter. J. Brad from Falcon was spotting for me. She was doing a lot of work, though. She was gathering speeds and times of all my competitors and relaying those to me. I honestly had no excuse not to win this round because I had her on the radio feeding the info, and J. Brad doing an amazing job spotting for me as well. So we had like really on point team strategy, and it was allowing me to, for instance, clutch kick on Frederick's door because we knew exactly how long it takes him to complete the bank and like how many seconds or whatever. So compared to my time.
Nice.
And then working with Amy, like for us, it works out really good because we've been married forever and we've been together forever. But for new couples, I think it could be a very trying experience. If you're just married for a year or so with someone, you throw all your efforts into a career together. It might be a trying experience. It might not flow as smoothly.
Nice. Does she drift at all?
No, she doesn't. I've been slacking. I need to just go out, and she's expressed interest to learn, and we'll probably do it sooner or later, honestly.
All right, here's one. Blackhand Brandon. Odie, does your name translate to ball of steel in English? Your car scared Osbo's car so bad he gave up. That's more of a statement than a question, but I like that one.
That's a badass one.
Yep.
Well, but does the name mean?
Here's one. This is from Ken Gushi. How do you fit your massive marbles in your racing suit?
That user Ken Gushi, man. What a little.
He's a troller.
It's a little firecracker, man.
Dude, Ken Gushi's awesome.
Yeah, you guys practice a lot together, right?
We used to, but now he's such a superstar. Doesn't have the time to come out and bang doors with our missile cars anymore. He's doing all kinds of cool stuff nowadays, and Ken Gushi, we got to go practice again.
Yep. Here's one. Macho Man Randy Sanchez. What chassis would you want to run other than an S14?
An E90 BMW, possibly. That'd be kind of cool. And no, not the E92 two-door. I actually prefer the look of the four-door.
Really?
And the wheelbase, I think, is a tiny bit shorter than the two-door.
The four-door is a shorter wheelbase?
Yep. Totally counterintuitive.
Yeah, that sounds totally the opposite. I would imagine they're kind of like the same platform, but since they started,
I would as well.
I
did some digging around, and it just seems like a cool chassis.
We only make the panels for the E92, so I mean, just saying, the rear,
But, yeah. Any plans to make them for the E90?
I just haven't seen enough drift E90s. Like there's and 92 seems the way to go. If I'm not mistaken, even Jesus. Christoph's bringing an E92 next year.
Yeah, and that's what I figured. There's going to be quite a few E92s eventually, but I doubt there's going to be many E90s.
But here's the thing, too. Well, the other thing, too, is BMW doesn't care to support the series anyway.
It's been weird, yeah.
Yeah, so everybody still wants to run their chassis, but didn't S have an issue where they wanted him to remove his badge off his car, and now everybody wants.
Yeah, no, that's totally like one of the reasons I don't have one built properly right now. Like, I mean, that's not like really cool for our sport,
Yeah.
But all that aside, all the politics aside, I just think it's a cool chassis, Like I really don't care for the factory BMW drivetrain whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just their chassis,
like
awesome.
The geometry of the chassis, like
they're super stiff from factory.
Come on, BMW, get your shit together so we can have like cool cars and drifting and run your emblems and support you, and you can support growing motorsports too.
There you go.
Yeah, see, if I'm not mistaken, BMW, they're the reason why.
And I daily a BMW.
They're the BMW. There you go. And that's why
What do you drive now?
My E30. I still daily the E30, the Red Rocket.
Okay. Sweet.
Here's one from JVO7. Who's your favorite competitor to chase down in Pro 1, and why isn't it Osbo?
And why isn't what?
And why isn't it Osbo? So who's your favorite driver to chase, and why isn't it Osbo?
Well, it's kind of becoming that the last couple of times I drove with Osbo, it actually has been really fun. Like,
Odie, I would take that back immediately. Your stock is plummeting. Everybody's on an Osbo rampage, and they'll be like, "Oh, come on, Odie's not biting."
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead and tell us. So
I've had some like difficulties battling with Osbo. There's been, like back in the day, there's been like mechanical issues in his car that just I felt like made it very difficult for me to follow and so forth. But the last few battles, they were really good, clean battles, and he's like a really good robotic driver, which is a sense of accomplishment beating him. It's right. Rewarding. So it's been a good few battles.
Well, wasn't it your first time beating Osbo in Seattle last year?
Yeah, it was, and there was a lot that lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have to save your rep here. You have a unique thing with Osbo because every time you ran him prior to Seattle last year, you lost to him, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so Seattle last year, the tides have turned where you ran him Seattle and you won. You ran him in Jersey and won. I think the roles have flip-flopped where now you are the dominant driver of the two. And you were seeking redemption.
Yeah, I mean, it's changed for sure.
I guess. I think so.
Sure.
It's drifting, though. You got to remember, like, there's a lot of luck involved, and it goes back and forth. There's not a single driver that could just say, hey, like, I'm always going to be on top of, of these battles.
All right. I'm going to have to stop you right. I'm going to have to stop you right there, Odie, because you said the word luck. And what you did this weekend wasn't luck. It wasn't luck at all. You guys went out there and did everything required. It was your strategy. It was you turning off the motors. It's not luck. Right. It's straight up.
I'll take that. Yeah,
the only thing you could maybe call it luck is that Kaufman didn't run.
Yeah.
That Kaufman didn't make that 5-minute thing.
But that was an issue that Kaufman had. What you did was not luck.
Exactly.
And you have not been winning on luck. You've been warning because you have a great program and you're a great driver. I'm going to say that.
Well, thank you very much. And I was kind of referring to overall, you know, like drifting overall. So, and, you talk to drivers that are really, really good and they acknowledge this, like you ask James Dean, like, hey, dude, you won so many events, like, and he'll be quick to say, like, hey, there's a lot of luck involved in some of those wins. And it's true. It's the sport's so nerve-wracking like that. Yeah. We have like 30 seconds, and my team always jokes around like, dude, all we need from you is 30 seconds of perfection. Only 30 seconds, that's it. So, and yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
I think most drivers who have where they're humble about their skills, they usually call for luck. That's one of the other things, though.
Okay, cool.
I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, like, it's not, like, there's no room for bragging. Like, we did it because we're the best, and yes, my balls are huge. It's just easier to say, yeah, we had some luck,
Well, we've all had good luck and bad luck as well. So it goes back and forth.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think that's it on my question on my side. I think Oat should take some time when he's laying in bed to scroll through some of these hot rods.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna check out those comments for sure.
Oh, dude, yeah, get in there and make sure to reply to every single one of them.
Don't do that. I wouldn't do that. But no, man, you definitely, received a lot of praise from this last round. You had a lot of people rooting for you. And like I said, you are evolving into this fan favorite. And it's definitely something that has picked up over the past 2 years. And I think between you and your driving, it is definitely spectator side getting you a shit ton more recognition. And I say keep doing what you're doing, man, because it's super awesome.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it very much. So yeah, and I'm, thank you to all the people commenting and saying cool shit. That's even more encouraging because there's definitely times where I'm like, man, this is a lot of effort, and a lot of time of my life putting into this. So,
dude, that's
very encouraging to hear, the good stuff coming through. So.
Man, and that's what you bring up a really good point, and that's something to elaborate on. Is every driver in Formula Drift, even Pro 2, even grassroots stuff, these are guys dedicating countless of hours to go chase after this sport when realistically they could go back to their day job and make a shit ton more money. They could probably go buy another house. They could probably buy a cool daily driver. And I'm sure if we didn't spend as much money as we did in drifting, we'd probably all be driving Ferraris or something really cool. But, all these guys are making life changes to do this crazy thing of drifting.
Definitely. You got to think, like, a lot of these guys are pretty smart dudes to be able to put a ride together in Formula Drift and to manage all of it. You put that skill set into more lucrative things, and for sure. So everyone's kind of sacrificing a lot to be where they're at, no doubt.
Yep. Well, cool, Odie. Thank you.
Anything else you want to ask? Thank anybody?
What, Paco? What was that?
Anything else you want to add?
There.
Okay, Paco, I get it. I want to thank 2F Performance, the cool body kit, and keeping my ride looking fresh.
There you go, Paco. There's four times this episode.
Jesus, man. Now I feel so obligated.
This has been a 2F commercial from beginning to end.
No, seriously. I feel terrible saying this, but I don't remember if we had a first place on any 2F driver before.
Right.
So I was extremely excited this week.
This is the first 2F victory.
Not a podium, but I think first
victory. Yeah, this is the first victory for 2F.
Oh shit! No, wait, my bad. Matt Field did it last year.
Did he?
My bad. Yes, he did twice.
That Matt Field. You just have to one up me on that one, huh?
Yeah, but the thing is that Matt Field kind of like joined 2F kind of like half the way. But yeah, no. So pretty much like it's the first time. It was like full blown, for at least for us, 2F. Yeah. Unfortunately, Phil didn't make it on. I had my money in both of you guys. That I was really expecting Phil was gonna get up there, at least in top 4.
Yeah,
it's very weird. I hope he gets out of that funk, whatever he's at right now. But hopefully we'll see him.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah, see him strong in Canada.
He's got a solid team and. He's done well in Canada before, so should be good for him.
But hey, thanks for the shout out. I wasn't really shooting for that, but appreciate it, and we're definitely gonna be sending you a lot of new goodies.
Sweet.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it, and hey, thank you guys for having me on, man. Thanks for letting me elaborate on what went down this weekend and tell everyone what's up.
We will have you here every day if we could.
Yeah. Well, next big event, we're going to have you back out again because that was fun. And we did your first drag race together.
Oh,
We've done what else?
That was I'm still really bummed out about the not getting in the 10s. That car should have totally did it. I'm I haven't gone back to a drag strip ever since because I don't have the time, but
right.
That was we need redemption on that one.
Well, Dirk Stratton ran his Corvette in the quarter mile as a drift setup.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
He ran a 10.4. Yeah. So that's
amazing.
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for.
Drift cars are 10-second cars that.
Yeah.
All of them at this point realistically are.
Pat Gooding was about around there as well. It's running low 11s.
Yeah, that's where Odie was at too. But you were having a misfire issue when you did your quarter mile run, or you weren't.
The second time around, the first time around, I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was
4 second
I'm
reaction
pretty sure
time.
everyone was laughing as I was pulling up the line, and then blowing the tires off the start as well.
It's almost time for a repost on that video too. We should repost that just to remind people this is Odie. Because I remember in the video, I'm like, Odie, pull forward to stage. And you're like looking at me with like this blind look. Like, what does that mean?
Glass so foggy.
Yeah, helmets on crooked. Just totally goes brain fart of nude. Anything new to Odie. He's like, what? Okay.
Light goes green and he looks if there's no cars coming. All right, then 4 seconds later he's off.
Checks the intersection before he goes.
Yeah, that's probably the longest staging that.
Oh, yeah. The announcers are like, all right, we got a 240, and he's still sitting there. All right, he's going to get going, guys.
They probably were surprised when they saw the time that 240 put down.
Oh, yeah. Once it ran, they were like,
whoa.
But anyhow, Odie, I know it's late. Get back to your family. You just got home. You were so nice to talk to us. But
he probably wants to sleep.
Yep. Go take it easy, dude. You deserve it.
Sweet. Right on, guys. Thank you.
Hey, thanks,
All right.
man. Have
Later,
a good night.
All right. Bye.
All right. Man. Can you believe it? Like we just had the round champion on our show.
Yeah, he just wanted to talk about himself the whole time. Jesus Christ. I was like, what could we do to speed this up? And then he started talking about, oh, another engine broke. Okay, well then build a good engine. Build one good engine.
Unfortunately, I have 20 engines in my trailer.
Yeah.
I just grab one randomly.
Yeah, I'll take this engine then. Oh, must be nice.
And, things didn't
Falcon
fit.
money.
Yeah, exactly.
He's making it rain. Oh, what do you need to operate? Well, 4 brand new engines. But instead, let's get wrong injectors in it so my guys can work. Don't worry, I can pay them extra.
We need a challenge. I mean, like those parts, he never didn't order those parts.
No,
he just told them.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, I want to wake up in the morning with my
I'm
stuff
overnighting my parts. The overnighting parts, that doesn't even exist.
No.
That's just in the movies.
Nope.
But dude, I mean, other than that, it was very, very amazing to watch him this weekend. He's one of those drivers that is, very consistent usually. But this weekend, more than consistent, it was surprising. It was just so aggressive and on the door, like literally. And he had he took big one. He took Osbo. He took Turk after 3 races. So it was pretty intense. I mean,
it was awesome.
Yeah. Other than that, we're going to Grid Life. Are you going to be in Grid Life, Corey?
I should be. I'm working on it. I was going to try to trailer my car out there.
Is it running already?
It's getting close. It's getting real close. It was to the point where I was like, let's see if I can trailer it in.
Should we give you a 5-minute timeout?
I might need 5 days.
I don't know. Maybe in those 5 minutes, everybody's like, all right, 5 minutes. Don't forget to turn on the
power button, the power switch, the power glove. Want something power.
The safety switch. What? Jesus, man, we can't even talk.
Come on, Paco. Anyways.
Yeah, we're going to be at Grid Life this weekend. You guys going to be, everybody who's listening who's in Michigan, I think the Grand Rapids is the biggest city next to the track. It's Gingerman. Yeah, so head over to Gingerman racetrack this weekend. Grid Life is going to be off the freaking hook. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday event. There's music. There's racing. There's grip racing. There's drifting. Forsberg, Turk, Vaughn, Odie. He said Darren
McNamara, Dai Yoshihara, Justin Pollock.
Everybody's gonna be there. Yep. And a lot of other amateur. I would say amateur. Like they're not pro-am, or some of them probably pro-am, but it's gonna be pretty badass. Last year's was incredible. Everybody was there. Larry Chen was there. Harry Berry was there. Yep. And it was Scary Larry. So yeah, it was pretty awesome, and we're excited to be part of it this year. We're gonna be doing some commentary on the drifting portion of Grid Life, and we'll see you guys there then.
And on that note, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank our Patreons. Thank our fans.
Oh, dude, yes. So
thanks.
Patreon, big thing. Yeah, guys, absolutely. We couldn't thank you enough.
Somebody messaged us about the other little thing that's going in the cup.
Oh yeah, it's okay. I'm adding a shirt to the cup.
Yep.
But I'm waiting for the shirts to be printed. I kind of want it to be more of a surprise, but it's taking too long. So I'm adding a T-shirt to the cups, all the mugs, the Maximum Driftcast mug is about to be shipped as soon as we get those shirts for you guys. It's gonna be
So we're bumping up the payload.
pretty much. Yeah, you guys have been giving us so much, been helping so much. We have these new lights. Thank you guys, and it's gonna be it's definitely gonna be more worth your wait. So just be patient. You have your mugs. We're gonna add some shirts. Obviously, we're gonna have some stuff in there, so stickers and stuff as well. But it's on its way. But thank you if you guys want to join our Patreon. Go to www.patreon.com/MaximumDriftcast. You want to do $1? That's super awesome. You can do $3. You can do $5. Each tier has like a different reward. But we definitely couldn't be doing this without you guys. So for that, we really thank you. And there's always going to be a link for the Patreon on both the YouTube video and the website. Yep. And find Corey at
Corey Hosford and at Street Standard.
Hot Dogs or Legs. And didn't you have you revealing your gloves already?
I posted them, but the picture quality wasn't good, so I took them down.
Okay. So
but yeah, so I got Hot Dogs or Legs on one and Like a Boss on the other.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. And then find me at Tofu Drift Van at 2F Performance.
And Sam's at Drift Retard. Drift Idiot. One or the other. I couldn't remember.
Drift Doi Doi.
Yep. Drift Dum Dum.
Drift Dum Dum. And make sure to check his video series Drift Garage. That I think there's a new episode coming out tomorrow as well.
Maybe.
So.
Sounds good.
Well, today, since it's Tuesday. So with that note,
we'll see you guys.
Let's give these guys an Eiffel Tower.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can cue something up here.
Let me see. In the meanwhile, let's just talk about things while Corey cues something.
Hey, I'm trying to find. And then Sam.
By this moment, people already finished the show.
And then Sam was here, and then I was here, and then you won't believe who else showed up.
Who? I can't imagine who showed up.
Oh no.
Let's try
that again.
Corey's ruining the ending of the show.
The ending is going to get better, guys. Here he goes, and...
This was Maximum Driftcast. Thank you all for tuning.
We're going to go back to sliding our Chevys. We're going to go back to playing our banjos. Here we go, do-si-do. We're signing off from the radio show.
Good night.
That was worth it.
That was good.